What's up, everybody? Let's take a little break from strength training and talk a little bit about nutrition. Specifically, today, let's talk about the factors that affect substrate utilization. What that basically means is factors that affect the kind of energy that your body is going to use. It's usually going to be split between fat and carbohydrates. Certain things that you do will encourage the use of carbohydrates. Other things that you do will encourage the use of fat. This isn't to say that your body is going to exclusively use only one kind of energy source. It's going to use both fat and carbohydrates. However, the degree to which it uses one over the other is going to be affected by different things like the person, your activity level, kind of activity, so on and so forth. For every one of these, there is a little caveat, a little something for you to keep in mind about each and every one of these factors. So let's get into it. First on the list, we have exercise intensity. Plain and simple, the more intense the exercise, the more energy it's going to require. The intensity of the exercise is also going to affect what your body primarily uses for fuel. You have two main fuel sources, fat and carbs. Depending on how intense you're doing your exercise, your body is going to either use one or the other. If you're going for a long, slow distance run, I'm talking like 5 or 10K, your body is going to primarily utilize fat as a fuel source as long as you're going at a relatively low to moderate intensity. However, if you're doing something like sprints where you're running as fast as you can, your body is primarily going to be using carbohydrates. The difference between both is that fat takes a lot longer for your body to break down and turn into usable energy, whereas carbohydrates is a lot more readily available. Much easier to break it down and turn into usable energy. Second on the list, dietary intake. This one trips people up a little bit, but let me explain. Carb intake can dramatically affect fat oxidation. What that basically means is if you're eating a lot of carbohydrates, you're going to be burning a lot of carbohydrates because you're eating a lot of carbohydrates. However, if you eat less carbohydrates and more fats, your body is going to oxidize fat as fuel primarily. Now here's where people get tripped up with this. Burning more fat doesn't necessarily equate to losing weight. It just means your body is using fat as a fuel source. People, for example, who are on the ketogenic diet, who eat mostly fat and protein or high fat, low carb diets sometimes make the mistake of believing that I'm going to lose weight because I'm teaching my body to use fat for fuel. That's not the case really. If you're still eating more calories than your required daily amount, you're not going to lose weight. Simple as that. Your body will become really efficient at burning fat for fuel. It doesn't necessarily translate into you losing weight unless you put yourself in a caloric deficit. Exercise duration. Pretty straightforward. The longer you exercise for, the more fat your body is going to oxidize. After you run out of your initial carbohydrate stores, your body is going to start using more fat for energy. Now, your body constantly is breaking down fat and using it for energy, but the intensity of the activity is going to determine the rate at which it does that. If you go for a short 2-3 kilometer run, your body may not tap into your fat store as much. But if you're going for a longer run, 5K, 6K, 10K, your body is going to require more fat for it. Next on the list is mode of exercise, and it says there running seems to oxidize more fat than cycling. And when you're running, you're using more of your body. There's more limbs moving, you have ground reaction force to work against, you're not pedaling and getting a machine to do most of the work for you. But again, intensity and duration also matter. Most people, I think, can bike a lot longer than they can run. The sex of the person is next on the list. So it's been found that women tend to oxidize a little bit more fat than men. It's not by much at all. But I know that's gonna piss off a lot of guys because they're gonna be like, what the hell, man? I thought it was a fat burning machine. Anyway, last on the list, which is of least importance, are supplements. Things like caffeine, ginseng, green tea are touted as these fat burners. You hear it everywhere. While that's true, what research has actually shown is that the amount of overall fat that they help the body oxidize is actually very minimal. Sorry, everybody who's on that green bean coffee extract and drinking 7-8 cups of green tea a day. It's not going to make that much of a difference just on its own. You can't just be sitting down drinking green tea and coffee all day and think, yes, I'm burning fat. Well, you kind of are, but it's just not a significant amount. And by all means, if you want to sit down and drink green tea and coffee all day, go for it. I love coffee, and I would drink it all day if I could. And there you have it, by order of most to least factors affecting substrate utilization. If you like the video, please like and follow, subscribe, you know what to do for more great tips on health, fitness, with a dash of philosophy. Peace.